Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and it's a new video. I've returned to university, but not as a student. It's a new experience which I'm so excited to share with you guys. So let's go. Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. This video is quite different. I'm turning the channel into a new direction because this channel has been there for 6 months now, but I was actually practicing because starting a new channel, well, I've started a year ago, but this time when I relaunched 6 months ago, I knew what I want to do and what I stand for, being a biomedical scientist slash entrepreneur, speaker, author. I decided, okay, I'm gonna share it all. But the first content that I've shared now was a mix of education, a bit of experience, bit of there, but now I want to share it all because the experience that I had when I went back to Kingston University as a speaker or keynote speaker, it opened up my eyes to what more I can talk about. Now, as you know, I'm self-employed. It's almost 3 years since I became self-employed, and I've had loads of experiences in terms of personal branding, LinkedIn, the importance of digital presence, the importance of your transferable skills or soft skills, are also referred to as future skills, the importance of networking. I've got a lot of experience on that, and that's what brought me a lot of collaboration. So going through the experience takes time for you to digest, for you to put it on paper or typing it up, let's say, all of this, and then sharing it to you guys, because sometimes certain things, they don't make sense straight away. They make sense after some time. So now I'm ready to share it all with you guys and tell you how it went, what I did, the thoughts, the journey, the ups and downs. It wasn't all up, there was downs, self-doubts. I've had several career breaks, and during those breaks I had some experiences. So when I was talking to the students, I realized, oh my god, I can share all of this on this channel. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it's like my digital journal. But also on LinkedIn, I'm not the traditional biomedical scientist. I'm a visionary biomedical scientist. Now officially I'm a keynote speaker because I also spoke in another university in a different city. So it's quite exciting to share all of that. So today I'm going to share with you my reflection on going back to the university where my biomedical science journey, or the untraditional journey, has started. So yeah, let's go. I'm gonna start sharing the story now. Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. It's actually a start of a new content, as I've shared with you on social media that is going to be new content. It's been now 3 years since, almost, by the time this video gets published, it's been almost 3 years since I became self-employed biomedical scientist, with doing all the other things that I'm sharing. Returning to Kingston University where my journey has begun, where it all started in biomedical science. It's very exciting journey because it's very special to me. But anyway, let me get started and start with it. So I went back to university, not as a student, but for an experience. So if you follow me on social media, you might have had an idea. But here in this video, I'll be sharing it all. Why, how, what did I learn from it, what did it make me reflect on, and how things are gonna change from now on, from this video onwards. So yeah, let me give you a bit of a background on how my studies. I've already spoken about it, but for some context, I wasn't born here, by the way. I wasn't born in the UK. I'm actually not in the UK at the moment. I'm in Dubai. I was born in the UAE, and I've schooled, born and bred and schooled here. Then, because being British and family British, we went to the UK where I started my university. So I did a degree in biochemistry. I didn't enjoy that. That was in East London University. I studied in London. I'm a Londoner, by the way. And then I didn't know what to do with the degree. And to be honest, halfway by the second year, and I openly say that I didn't enjoy my degree, and I say that to the students as well, because life can change after that. So when I finished my degree and I found out about working in a lab and biochemistry and biomedical science and all of that, and then I found out the long journey that you have to send your degree to the IBMS and get the portfolio, blah blah blah. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do masters. My mom told me to do masters, and I'm grateful for her mentioning that, because it makes a huge difference. So I was between doing pharmacy or doing, I wanted a degree that would guarantee me a job. So I was working as a pharmacy assistant. Again, the whole job hunting was a struggle. So I was working in pharmacy. I was between pharmacy and biomedical science. I didn't want the patient contact and all that. I wanted to be in a lab, independent, by myself. That's why I chose science. So I did biomedical science, medical microbiology in Kingston University. And unfortunately, towards the end of the course, they told us that it's not accredited and still have to do this whole portfolio thing. That was a shock. But then, when just before after I finished my master's, I was very lucky. I found a job as a research scientist in a drug discovery company. So I was very lucky. So when at my graduation, I had a job waiting for me in Oxford, and it was a temporary job. But then I really wanted the biomedical science. That urge, that passion was still there. So when the contract terminated, I returned to London and I started this whole thing. If you follow me on YouTube, I've already shared the story about that. And it was a long journey, unaccredited. I had to do this. I worked in a lab, and I've shared it in a separate video. And then after I qualified as a biomedical scientist, I wanted to do more, be more, and then I did postgraduate certificate in healthcare management, which opened my eyes. So that is how my education was. So I got biochemistry, degree in biochemistry, master's in biomedical science, medical microbiology, and healthcare management postgraduate certificate. And I did the top-up modules in a different university. So I've done 4 universities. So I'm very experienced about how universities are, the system is. So it gave me a bit of resilience, so I can start a course straight away because it's the same system. So that's about that. So returning to Kingston University as a speaker was very special to me, because I didn't have an easy path to become a biomedical scientist. And my aim was, and you know what guys, I always wanted to be a lecturer. I did have attempts to do PhD, but I was unlucky. But little that I knew that now I go to universities and I speak about how I became a founder of Biomedical Science and Beyond, author, speaker, doing all the other things. And also I share my journey about how important it is to do personal branding, how important your digital presence, and the importance of your transferable skills. And these are the things that I have shared. And on top of that, I'm self-employed. I'm still practicing my profession in the UK, but it has given me the freedom and the flexibility. So I've shared all of that in the previous videos. But from now on, what I'm going to do, guys, because it's been 6 months since I've relaunched the YouTube channel, and my experience with the students and talking to the students has given me, with the questions they were asking me, it made me think, you know what guys, I can share more. Like, I've done the educational part, but now I've got more content that I can share with you about my experiences, about being self-employed, and all the exploring that I have done. Because my main aim since I have resigned from my full-time job was to find my role as a biomedical scientist beyond the lab, and not just in healthcare, but in society globally. So it was very emotional when I went back. I've delivered many webinars, by the way, guys, to different organizations, institutions, whether universities in the UK or in different parts of the world. And I've done public speaking as well in Dubai, delivered masterclass. But this was special because I went back to speak to the students and tell them that you can do anything you want beyond your degree, even though, and by the way guys, this is how it happens normally. The game has changed for me since I've shared everything on LinkedIn 2.5 years ago. It's almost, yeah, so just under 3 years now. I just published myself or publicly said I'm a scientist with a vision, or visionary scientist, and launched my newsletter. And I've mentioned that in the LinkedIn video where I explained or touched upon what the experience was. So I'll elaborate more about that. So I wanted the students to appreciate how important it is. And going back to speak in person, it has completely different experience. Normally, this is how it started. I share content on LinkedIn, and when I launched my YouTube channel and I shared all the content that you guys have seen, if you follow me, if you're not, check those videos if you're interested, then I got contacted by career advisors from different universities. I've spoken just last week at Leicester, and if you follow me on social media, you must have had an idea, and I'm going to share more about how it was, especially going to a different city and one of the top universities as well. I was like, wow, okay. So they see what you stand for, who you are. So I wasn't being fake or producing information that is not true. I was being transparent, like I'm transparent with you here, guys. And it was so eye-opening, because I told them, look, this is what I did, and these are the collaborations that I did, and you too can do. So how how it ended was amazing, but I'm going to talk about that further. So this is how it started. They see what you stand for, they contact you, you have an initial meeting, so they have an idea on if, I think it's a way for them to see, are you the same person that you are delivering, and they can see that I'm just the same. And you know what, when you're very passionate about something that you talk about, people will connect with you. They will see where the passion comes from, and because initially it was for biomedical science, but then they said, okay, we're going to bring all the science students, the final year, or I'm not sure what age, but I'm sure that most of them were final year. And this is not the first collaboration. We had a collaboration before for webinars, but this was an in-person. So for me, it was very important to have that direct engagement, especially with university students. So I really loved it, because I want to see what's the situation is. And this is what I did. So when I when I went to the university, I haven't been there for some time because it's far and it's out of my way. And I remember it was on a Friday. I normally take a day off, even if I have a webinar or meetings and things like that, because working in a lab is exhausting. Even though I'm working independently, but because the whole experience itself, and it's a very intense job, you're saving lives. I've got 2 screens in front of me, reporting, the background noise, analyzing, and it's a lot of information. But the advantage now for me is I work by myself, so I'm responsible for my own bench. And I'm not involved in any politics. I don't have to do shifts. I just go Monday to Friday and I take time off. So that particular week I was exhausted because it was a Friday. I worked Monday to Thursday, but it was amazing when I went back. Everything has changed. I'm very interested in the future of work and education. That's my passion. And I saw there was a campus where it said, oh, they're building something new called Future Skills. I was like, yes. So I normally have a quick look around before I go in, just to see what's the latest, meeting the team, asking questions. I think I've got a business mind now. I just have to have an idea of everything first before, so that at least, even though I'm delivering the same talk, but I really like to customize it to the students, have an idea of what the situation is, etc. And that was really a great experience. So going back, I was like, wow, obviously the things have changed. It has, it has developed for the better, I must admit. And you know what? I will only be approached by people who have the same vision, the futuristic vision. So they appreciate that the job market is changing. They appreciate that degrees are not enough. They appreciate the importance of work experience, the importance of networking, all of that. So I was very happy that the universities are making that effort to help the students. However, students need to put the effort as well, which I'm going to talk about later on. Because you know what, guys, everything I'm sharing now, even when I talk to the students, is from my failures, because I vowed that I don't want anybody to go through what I went through, because I lacked having a mentor. Now I took the mentorship to the next level. That's why I created this YouTube channel, while I'm on that journey myself of being self-employed, discovering the world outside the laboratory. Exciting part, when I went back, obviously I didn't check the place, because for security reasons they have to combine you. So when I went to the hall, obviously I was so inspired by or impressed by the setting. It was 2 screens on the wall, and the students themselves. I had a conversation with the career advisors about what the situation are, and about them as well, because it's very important to know how they think, because are we aligned? Because I'm looking at my mission is, or what I was very frustrated with, is the connection between the education industry and the employment, or the work industry, or the industry, the professional industry. That link is missing. So the career guidance is very important. So I come there to say, look guys, going back to the next generation and tell them what it's like. So when I tell them, look, I'm coming from the other side. It's not bleak. It's a positive thing, but you need to do ABC. So even though I'm talking about the biomedical science, how we can break into biomedical science, but like the digital platform that I created on LinkedIn, biomedical science and beyond. So not just biomedical science, but beyond that. Like my mission is finding my role as a scientist, as a healthcare professional, as a biomedical scientist, but beyond the boundaries of the laboratory. And thank God, the vision has been matched with so many organizations. I've met some amazing people. So even though I had an untraditional path to become qualified biomedical scientist, my degree wasn't accredited, I had to do top-up modules, I had to look for experience, to do the portfolio, and that took a couple of years, and it was a journey. But that journey itself, the professional development led to the personal development, which I shared in my first book, Ida Nur Thoughts. That was the personal journey of becoming a biomedical scientist, but it's applicable to any career. What they don't tell you when you are pursuing your career, when you're about to start your career. And then when I got qualified, I realized, oh, I can do more. And COVID was an eye-opening. So I was sharing all of that with the students. So I told them what they need to do to become a biomedical scientist. Who am I? What do I stand for? And what is biomedical science in a nutshell? If they don't want to do lab work, they can work in ABC, which I've shared all of this on YouTube. So I give them a bit of a snapshot. But then the most important aspect of my talks, and base this channel on, that there are more to a career. It's not having a job is one thing, but having a career is another thing. Your career has to match your lifestyle, because we change, we evolve. We not living just in a job. There's more. It has to match your lifestyle, your family, your aspirations. For example, now I'm self-employed. I'm very happy because it's giving me the freedom, the flexibility. I've had several career breaks and I've achieved so much during that time. So I want them to look beyond that. But in order to achieve that, you have to appreciate three things. Your transferable skills, or soft skills, or also I refer to them as future skills, or the skills that AI cannot replace. Your personal branding, LinkedIn, it's I'm sorry to say, but I'm gonna say, and I said that to them, it's a spying tool. I use it as a tool to know what's happening around me. And it's your digital CV that is there. So when they put your name, they will see what you stand for. So you just show not just your skills, but your personality, what you stand for. And the third thing, networking. These are the three things that I swear by. So I talk about these three things. And you know what, guys, when I talk to the students, it's unfiltered. It's as it is. I tell them as it is. I'm being myself. I'm not the typical speaker. And I watch my talks, by the way, and I do use my hand a lot. So if I have a microphone to my hand, I have this. The last time I spoke, I had the microphone and I had the pointer. I was like, oh, so I was like this because I don't want to throw them or break them. Okay, that was out of what I'm supposed to talk about. I'm a natural person, okay? I am who I am, and this is what I wanted the students to be. So what I really loved is they somehow resonated. They were like, wow, this person is speaking in a different way that we're not used to. Because I'm not disrespecting other speakers, but I'm talking from my own observation. I don't want to be the type of person who speaks from above. I'm an ordinary person. I'm a natural person. I got sense of humor. I cannot be serious. I wanted a career where I can apply my personality. And I guess distracted by silly things. The last time I spoke, I was really happy. I was like, oh, I like this. I didn't know about this. So I wasn't even paying. I forgot there's people listening to me. By the way, guys, this channel is going to be natural. It's going to be information. It's going to be vlogging. It's going to be everything. Because I just want to be who I am, and at the same time inspire you guys to create your career. That's the whole point of sharing everything. You can create your dream career beyond job application, and that's what my second book is all about. So I talk about these things, and people who have the futuristic vision, they'll appreciate. So it depends on the university, the career advisors, do they have the same vision that I have? So if we're aligned, definitely it will be fantastic. So that talk, I believe it had a great result because the students stayed behind, and I always ask for feedback and from what they post online, because they took action. I told them you have to invest in your link, you have to do this, you have to. So I gave them actionable advice, which I shared in my second book, and I really loved the engagement. That's why I like in-person speaking. I love public speaking anyway. I like speaking to people directly. I like this. I do a lot of networking, so I'm very comfortable with people. I can walk into a room that nobody knows me and still speak up my mind. So I saw the engagement in the student, how they stayed behind and they were asking questions, and their questions made me think, oh, I can share all of this here, guys, because the last couple of years I've learned so much, especially when I went self-employed. I've got experience in networking, I've got experience on LinkedIn, I've got experience in speaking publicly, mixing with different people. So I've got loads of experience that I can share now. My travels as well, like I've taken few career breaks, so I was like, oh wow, I've got more to offer. So now I decided, you know what, I'm going to share it all. So one of the important things that I wanted the students to appreciate, or anybody who's in their career or studying something, think of your degree that is not the end of it. It's not going to end there. Your degree will open opportunities, but it's up to you to look for those opportunities. For example, biomedical science. I appreciated the skills that being a biomedical scientist has given me. In terms of, you know, I've talking about those skills. So those skills I saw they overlap, or they have in common with being an entrepreneur or being a creator. So the content creating has helped me through my journey when I was sharing content, when I was trying to get qualified, my experiences, everything that I've shared. So I wanted them to appreciate the use of social media, for example. I started using social media for my benefit. So, and I used it for work, and I've used it for collaborating, I've used it for everything. So social media, and I still get surprised when people don't use social media up to this day. I've had few conversations, and it has nothing to do with age. I remember there was one of the young qualified biomedical scientists. She said she doesn't use social media, but social media doesn't mean that you have to use it for entertainment. It can be for anything. For me, I used it to share what I think. That's where my Instagram Ida Noor Thoughts came, because I was sharing my thoughts, and then my journey, and then everything. And then LinkedIn gave me the game changer was the LinkedIn, because I just went out there, became who I wanted to be, at the same time so showing my professional side and my personal side. So now when I go places, people know me, not for what I can give them or what sort of business I can give. And this is what I've seen in people's reactions when I come in. Like, some people I've connected with, whether through social media or whatever, they're like, oh, hi Dara. And people look at me like, what does she do? Because people, unfortunately, they always have to think about you in terms of a business. You can't control how people think about you. So I wanted people to think about not having a traditional path. So eventually I realized, wow, my journey, my struggle to become a biomedical scientist has opened up other opportunities, but I was open to those opportunities. So that's why I said to them, use social media. It's not just for entertainment. I use it for entertainment sometimes, but I use it for my benefit. I used it for what can it do for me, and that's how I wanted them to think. So I wanted them to appreciate the importance of breaking away from traditional path. So I was really happy that it gave them hope that, yeah, being a biomedical scientist, you don't have to be working in a lab. You can be who you want to be, and you can create the career that you want to have. Because the funny thing is, when I ask them, because I try and use an icebreaker question, that was actually shocking, because I said to them, how many of you think that this job will, be doing biomedical science will land you in a lab job? Silence. And I was shocked, actually, because I thought, wow, okay. And I said, how many of you want to work in a lab? I just had one, I think, but this person had already experienced. So I was like, good, because that's where I want this talk to happen. So then I spoke, obviously, I always include the jobs that you can do, whether directly related to your degree or the jobs that you can apply to, and that's in one of the videos I've explained, and I didn't even know anything about that. So that was the part. But there's another part which I really appreciated, and it's something that resonates with my own journey, is the way we communicate and the way we inspire. How the way I survived in life, in science, is by simplifying things, bite-sizing things, in general. So I use communication, so I don't use complicated language. Like the way I speak to you guys, this is how I post on social media. So I had a recent collaboration about how we can inspire change in, let's say this collaboration was specifically for biomedical science, and I said we need to speak differently, we need to communicate differently. We can't communicate the way we used to communicate decades ago. We've got the TikTok generation now. It has to be straight to the point. And I realize I'm that type of person. You have to tell me straight to the point. If you're going to tell me a long, even though I speak for the country, but in terms of information and knowledge and things like that, I like it to be straight to the point. I don't like this complicated language. And then I realized this is what we need at this day and age, because also we have a short attention span. I have a short attention span, which I realized that I do. So if there's a talk that is long, and in lectures, I would struggle to pay attention, guys. And this is my nature. So imagine now, with all the distractions that we have now, and the younger generation or the next generation or the students, that's the way of life for them. So we can't speak the way it is. And this is where I saw the divide, especially specifically in biomedical science. That you've got all of them speaking from their level, and you've got the students from their level, and they want to be spoken to in a different way. They don't want to be spoken to from the top. They want to be spoken to the way I speak to you guys. So I realized this is my natural way of delivering, and I realized also that this is how it should be. So I was open about it in the last collaboration, which I've posted about, and I'm going to talk about this experience or the collaboration that I had, because again, that was from the way I delivered my YouTube videos and how I deliver my content on LinkedIn, just being myself and sharing experiences and the articles that I share. This is how people will collaborate with you. And that's what I wanted the students to appreciate. Once they know who they are, that was the one question that I was asked, and I love questions, because immediate questions. I know some students are shy. I forget that age group is very shy. They asked, I was asked that question, how do you know, how do you go from there, or how do you start? I said, number one, which is the first chapter in my first book, is you need to know who you are, what's your purpose, and what is your goal in life. I know these are big questions, and it takes time to find that question. So when I was trying to get qualified, and during my journey, that was the first thing I approached with myself. And once you know that, you will be at peace, because what happens is you will know who you are with time. So whenever you get challenged, you step back and you're like, what do I stand for? What are my values? What are my goals in life? What are my skills? So you will never be, and you know what, guys? I've discovered more and more when I started networking and I started mixing with all these different entrepreneurs and different organizations, and oh my god, I've got so much to share with you guys. I don't want to bombard you with a lot of information, but this speaking engagement has opened my eyes more to more that what I can share with you here. And to be honest, because this channel has been there for a couple of months now, and it takes time to get used to setting up, having a camera, you know, putting your ideas together and sharing it all out. All this does take time, and at the same time I'm still working full-time, guys. So it's not easy when you're working Monday to Friday and you've got the weekend or during the week, and on top of that my content and any meetings that I have or any collaborations, or it's a lot to take in. But what I really enjoy about this whole thing is I'm not going to rely on one job. You know, yes, I've got this channel, I've got my books online, I've got, hopefully there'll be paid engagement, things like that, all of this. So it's a lot that I can share. So that's what I wanted the students to appreciate, to work on themselves from now onwards. And this is one of the first thing I said to them is continuous learning. If you want to be future-proof your career, you have to accept two things. You have to accept that you will continue learning. Learning doesn't end at the university bench. No, learning continues for life. and adapting and changing, adapting to change, accepting new opportunities. At the moment, I'm on a new adventure. Yes, I have a plan, but I don't know what to expect. No expectations. But for me, I'm very confident about what I'm going to do now, because I've had a journey. These past 3 years, I've set up who I am. Especially the final year, it was the best for me, because I've had an open mind and heart, and now I know what I stand for. This video is not about me, but I just wanted to share about what it was like to go back to where my journey has started, and I wanted to connect directly with the students. It's at a place where I know how it feels when you're a student. I didn't enjoy my degree. I didn't enjoy my time at university altogether. Maybe the last one, yes, because it was an online. I was working full time. So, and I was doing a specialist postgraduate study. So, and it was something I'm passionate about. So when I did my degree, it was new to me. I didn't know what to do with it. I had no experience whatsoever, no lab experience, no industry experience. I've never worked. I started working, but it was a part-time job. Then when I did my master's, again, I didn't have no lab experience. When I finished, I had to look for a job. And so I know how it feels when you're a student and you want to hit the job market. You know, you want to start climbing the ladder and start your career. That all these fees are there, and now the job market is super competitive. So looking for a job is not the way it used to be. I had a late conversation with a friend recently. She's about to relocate and she wants to start job hunting, and I advised her to work on her LinkedIn. Oh, I can tell you so much about it, because now looking for a job is not the way it used to be. You send an application and all that. Hearing from employers directly how they look for jobs, they look for the personality. So I advised her. I said to her, look, you need to do more work, like traveling, go into the country where you are, look for communities, start doing, and that's what I did before I did my first career break. So it's a lot that you need to consider. The way looking for a job or creating your career is not the way it used to be. And it doesn't end there. You get a job, it doesn't end there, because you get into a routine. Once you're an employee, it's different. How can I say it's different? It becomes boring after a while. You know, this is one thing I realized when I came back as self-employed. I'm not part of the team. I'm there to do the job, get paid for it, and do my own thing. I'm not part of the. I don't want to say that, but how can I'm gonna say it as it is. Like I said, this is my channel. I'm not an average person. The average person is the one goes to work, waits for the weekend, waits for the holiday, and that's it. And I'm not. You know, this is how the average person is. They talk about holidays, they talk about shopping, they talk about family, they talk about, that's it, that's their bubble, like Steve Harvey said. But when you burst that bubble and you get out of your comfort zone, your way of thinking is completely different. Your circle is completely different. I'm not saying that I don't mingle with them or anything. I don't mind, but for me, my time is very precious. I have other things that I want to invest in. So the people you mix with have to be like you or better than you, or higher than you, or being there for you. So I've got certain circles that I mix, the close family friends circle, the professional circle from different industries, and this is how you build when you start networking. So this is where I wanted the students to appreciate. Yeah, you might get a job, but that job does not define you. You have to future-proof your career. How do you future-proof your career? Is by investing in your skills that will make you stand out or put you as an addition. Your personal branding, your LinkedIn. Personal branding, it's nothing to do with having a product, but what do you stand for? Because that's where the opportunities will come, and it will open doors to opportunities. And networking, like I said, my favorite way of networking is to go international networking, to go to a different country. For me, Dubai is a fantastic place because everybody goes to Dubai, and plus is safe. It's my home. I've lived in the UAE. I'm not a Dubai born, but I'm Abu Dhabi born. Abu Dhabi also is growing. The whole of the UAE is growing fantastically. 2022, when I went back, it was perfect time, because Expo launched, and then a year later, COP28, Dubai Future Forum, many major, big events. So it's a very good way to expose yourself to these opportunities and learn a lot. You have to be a person who's learning and absorbing information, and that's why I say it's very important to know who you are first. So when you are surrounded with all of that, you know what's aligned with you. And I've just had this recent conversation with an entrepreneur friend about this. So that's what I wanted the students to appreciate, and directly speaking to them, it's really, I learn a lot because at least I'm current. I need to know what's happening, and in order for me to support them. And I always wanted to inspire the next generation and help them, because I lacked having a mentor in my career, and I vowed that I don't want anyone to go through it. I had a meeting recently, and for a collaboration which I'll share later on, and one of the questions was, if you had a good mentor, why were they good and how they influenced you? And me being outspoken, I said it as it is. I said, sadly, I didn't have a mentor because I did struggle in my career. But then I took the initiative to participate in mentorship, and I took it to the next level with all the collaborations and the work that I do now, which is like a mass mentoring. So it started sad, but it ended up inspiring, and I think that's how this collaboration went ahead. I've got loads of exciting things that I want to share with you guys later on, to show you what is it like when you get out of your comfort zone, because especially I come from an industry, healthcare professional is very rigid. When you do what you believe in, you will meet people who are aligned with you, and then that's how the world becomes better. So don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to express what you stand for, because this is how the world becomes better. And about people judging you or people not understanding what you talk about, or let's say, because I had this conversation with one of my friends who commented about my videos or something. I said, look, I cannot control how you guys take the information. I am who I am. I deliver it to you. How you interpret it is totally up to you. I do the best that I can to inspire the next generation, or inspire anybody who wants to create their dream career beyond job application. But I can't do beyond that. And I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. And it's nice to help others. That's how you can, like one of my friends said, how you can help humanity. That is a very powerful word. Like in our religion, when you share knowledge, that itself is a good deed. I don't know how to translate in English, but that it's really, when I get a message from a student that say you've helped me or I've succeeded in this, that for me is so worthwhile. So this is just a heart-to-heart, video where I share about how how the first speaking event at the university where my journey started. I just thought, why not share the experience and why I did it, how it went, and I hope it will inspire you as well to, if you're studying, hopefully it will help you, to inspire you to think about your career, what you stand for, who you want to be, what do you want to do in life. And don't be afraid to dream bigger, because you can dream bigger. You can create what you want to do, because the world is your oyster. Don't be afraid to experiment. I've experimented so much. But I don't regret it, because I know I've learned. No time wasted, no money wasted, only gaining knowledge, gaining experience, gaining advice. When I was networking and going different places, I've learned so much from everybody. I always ask them, what advice would you give me? And I take that advice on board. 2 advices that really resonated with me, and I was actually speaking to one of them who's a friend of mine now. One of them said to me, share content, just share, just keep sharing. And he's amazing himself. And the second one told me, if it's from the heart, it will reach the heart. And I've taken those 2 advices a year ago. And another advice which also touched my heart is always stay curious. These 3 I will never ever forget. Actually, another 4th one, let me say, when I really started the journey, I was told, your role is not in the lab, your role is outside the lab. So these 4 advices are the highlights. I'm sure there's more, but these are the ones that come into my mind. And I'm so grateful for these advices. If I didn't take the initiative to network and explore the world outside the laboratory, I wouldn't be here sharing my story with you guys or being on stage sharing it with the students. And I hope this gives you a bit of hope. There'll be more content, more videos. I'll be sharing more now, now that I'm, you know, putting it on paper, sharing it with you guys. And follow me on all social media, LinkedIn to have an idea on what I talk about, and my other social media, Instagram, TikTok. But Instagram, I share it all because it's a good, you know, it's like my digital journal. But also LinkedIn, it's a mix of both, because sometimes I share stuff on Instagram and I put it on LinkedIn because I am who I am. Now they supporting video content, so even better for me. But let me end this video here. I look forward to meeting you all next week. Again, comment, let me know what you guys think. What questions came to your mind? How, you know, do you think this video is better? Storytelling, you know, share everything. Just this channel, again, like I said, is for all of us. Is to communicate, to share knowledge, share experiences. If you had a similar experience, let me know. And I'm gonna leave it here, and I wish you all the best. And until the next video, keep shining, keep inspiring, and see you next time.